Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh, thanks to Empire Properties. And thanks to Copiers Plus. Check them out online at copiers-plus.com. Print management, document management. I actually just got an email from the previous tax service that I used to use before, the human tax service that is J, about extending. Did you miss the deadline? All that kind of, maybe you did. And maybe you want to refinance. There's all sorts of stuff that will require you to scan documents.
Yes,
taxes, refinancing with our folks at Miller Lending. Getting yourself a Kyocera is clutch in these situations when it comes to scanning and uploading those documents to wherever you need. So contact our friends at copiers-plus.com. Speaking of documents, what are you staring at? You've been glued to your computer all morning.
I don't think it's anything crazy.
Did you get like some FOIA return or something?
Yeah, I've gotten multiple.
You're distracted today. You're very locked in on some numbers today.
Multiple requests that were denied. So
denied?
See. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which school?
Both.
Interesting.
Both.
State and Carolina. Okay.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah. Let's see what.
How often? Because I've never filed a FOIA request. How often do things get denied?
Well, I'm not dealing with a human being anymore. So they both have
they got like a ChatGPT
thing that you submit your request.
Okay.
And I have FOIA the contracts for Belichick's sons. They keep insisting to me that they're on this website. I keep sending a screen grab to them of the website that says they are not on this website.
It's not there.
And it's like, no, as indicated in the original closure notice that you received, contracts and agreements for UNC athletics coaches are published online at ...
Mm-hmm.
The request has been fully processed and is now closed. Well, no, I don't have the contracts.
Okay.
So I don't understand how it's been, quote, fully processed.
Huh.
So,
all right.
And then NC State keeps sending me, I was interested in Kevin Howell's their new chancellor. His contract's going to be worth $600,000. I was interested in Randy Woodson's end salary.
Mm-hmm.
They kept sending me updated agreements without a new salary for Randy Woodson. So that was quite a.
What are they trying to hide?
It was quite a sleight of hand by them. So yeah,
okay.
It's been one of those kind of mornings.
I got you.
It's never as easy as you want it to be.
I know. I was just kind of curious.
When humans are not involved.
Yeah, I was curious. It's like because you were very like the glasses come out and you're just like, well, this is not. I'm like, okay, what are you getting into over there?
And there's no number. Like they keep sending me these signed agreements with Randy Woodson with no number.
Fair enough.
I somehow doubt his contract doesn't include his salary.
So it is a game day. We got Canes and Caps tonight, game 1. We will be back on YouTube tonight immediately following the game. Mike Maniscalco is going to join us. Luke DeCock will join us. It's all part of the After Dark. It's thanks to our friends at Bloom & Blinds. Check them out online. Better yet, call them directly, 919-980-9815. Chris and the crew, you do 10 or more window treatments, you're going to get 10% off. So call them, 919-980-9815. Tell them we sent you for Bloomin' Blinds. We went over to Invisalign yesterday.
It was a full day.
It really was a full day.
I got a lot of good coaching in yesterday. I didn't get any parenting advice in there. I mean, maybe a little bit, but
slightly. So we went over to Invisalign yesterday. The Canes opened up the locker room. Rod Brind'Amour, head coach, was made available. And here's our conversation with Brind'Amour.
I got some nutrition questions for you, which I thought might be up your alley. But let's start with your favorite. Let's start with your favorite topic. Rest is a weapon. So you get a full week here. So what did you do? What did the players do? When did you get back at it?
Well, we you get some practice for sure, and then but it was more concerted effort on making sure everybody was healed up. And we had Seabass had a baby, so he missed a few days. We kind of lucked out if you in a way of the schedule. And then it's getting that mental rest, right? Like get away from it for a little bit, and then now once we start tomorrow, the grind goes for the next 2 weeks or whatever, and it's all hockey.
How I was happy to see that you caught up to me. I suggested moving Svetch up because no one's ever thought of that before. But once you did that was really smart on your part.
But I've done that for half the year.
It's a bit of
it's timing. It's all about the timing, Coach.
Yeah.
The response though from you moving him back with Fishy and the way that he played.
That line's small if we don't have Svech on it.
Yeah.
And so it's tougher to play against that line with Svech on it. You know, it's a different line when he's not. It's still really good, but I think easier to maybe match up. And so putting him there, I think Svech was the key to that whole first round for that. We were able to now spread out our guys a little more. And, you know, now Jarvy's playing with Jordo, and that line's going to play a ton because they got to go against the best guys. And now you got maybe your best player or one of them playing the minutes. It's all, you know, I think we won that series through our depth in the lineup, and that's a big part of it.
Also, your best players being your best players, right? So, you know, Svechnikov can do all the things on the ice that affect the game, but he's got to score.
Yeah.
So the tail end of that series and how he kind of came alive and the hat trick and everything else, what did you see? Is it just it's finally paying off, or is there some sort of maybe a next part of the arc for Svechnikov in the postseason because of it?
It's hard. It's a small sample size, right? 5 games, but I think you saw him be him. Mm-hmm. Like we kind of I think I mentioned it after the other night when we played. You were like, oh, there he is, and you forgot that is that player because all year it hadn't been like that. It'd been kind of and you kind of got lulled into, well, this is what he is. No, he's that player, and for whatever reason, you know, the goals would come. But forget the goals aside, he was still 9 shots, 8 shots. Physical, you're like, okay, there it is. Not some games in the year, 0 shots, and 0 shot attempts. How can that be for that kind of player? So I think him just getting his game going, whether you're on the score sheet or not, we need it. But you get 9 shots, you're probably going to score 1 or 2, and maybe have a big game, and that's what we need out of him.
It was a long time ago, 2019, but do you have to tell him, let's just play? Let's not worry about the Russian guy on the other side. And
that's kind of been played, and we've had 4 or 5 years, 6 years of it.
Yeah. But you are seeing him again in the playoffs. So
there'll be that confrontation. I mean, obviously, it's just I think he's a lot better suited now for it. I think he's that experience. Good or bad, however you want to look at it, it's there. So I think he'll learn from it.
So speaking of Ovechkin, I can't think of 2 polar opposite hockey players in terms of how they take care of their body. There's you, right? And you enjoy the workout. I mean, you try to put off like you don't. You enjoy the workout.
Nobody likes working out, but when you know the benefits.
Come on.
There's 0 chance that I like going, and I know what happens if I don't.
Okay.
I know what you feel like if you don't. It's kind of,
And he's notorious for saying, if it's not hockey, if it's off ice, he hates it. Is that a general attitude for every player?
Well, probably. I mean, does anybody really want to put in that kind of work that's necessary to get better? I mean, most of those guys that say that are all they're talkers, but they actually are closet. They get in there and no one's watching. They're grunting it out, and then when everyone's in the mic, or they say, "Oh yeah, I don't do much." But Ray Whitney was like that. Ray Whitney was the king of that. I don't do nothing. Then you watch when the doors.
Someone's on the mic.
He's in there.
Wait a minute.
What are you doing?
Now the difference though is that I'm not going to see you getting on a plane with a gas station sub sandwich like an Italian sub. You're not drinking Dr. Peppers and Diet Pepsis at the intermission.
But if
Hot Cheetos? You eating hot Cheetos?
I don't do that. That just tells you how good a talent he is.
Yeah.
That he can get away with that at that age and still be dominating a sport. That's crazy.
You mentioned the Jordo line in that matchup, but I got to imagine Jacob Slavin's not going to have many shifts where Ovechkin's not on the ice.
Well, yeah, I mean, you hope not.
Yeah.
Right, and that's not an advantage for us, that's for sure. I mean, he's going to get, you want him out there against some of their top guys. They've split him up a little bit now, so that's what you do.
Thinking back to that game on April 2nd, though, it kind of looked like Slavin was like, "You're not getting that record against me, man." Because he had a nice little back check real early in that game where I'm like, "Ooh."
No, I mean, listen, that's what he does. He does against all the best players.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no secret. We're trying to get him out there as much as we can against those guys.
Well, this is the kind of coaching strategy that I bring out of you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me, Rod.
I'm going to think about doing that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So it wasn't for me.
This isn't. We're not doing video here, but I have to describe to the audience that when we're talking about Ovechkin, you're doing a lot of shoulder shrugging. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
You look for the gold laces.
Is that kind of what it is? You just, hey man, he is who he is.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we know. Listen, you don't want to get him the puck in around that area.
Yeah.
Because it's probably if it's not in, you thought it might go in. So can we avoid that as much as possible? I mean, that's really the game with him. But they got other weapons too, and obviously they wouldn't have the record they had this year.
I was going to say they scored the second most goals in the league this year. It just seems like they're a whole lot deeper than most recent versions, maybe even their cup team.
Yeah, I would agree. 4 lines, and they're deer. They don't beat themselves. You watch them play. It's they're structured, and they bought into what. And that's probably the greatest, coaching job that he's done is to get guys like that we talked about, Ovechkin, Wilson, to play a certain way every shift. That's pretty impressive, and he's done it, so good for them.
Do you expect more, let's just play hockey, as opposed to the last series?
I'm sure that stuff will be there because I know what the mindset is of with LBL. We're going to do this. So, you know what? Depends how it gets called.
Yeah.
I think if the refs come in right away and start giving penalties, they're not stupid. Nobody wants to do that and take penalties because that's the game. So I'm sure I expect a physical series. We're going to finish checks. They're going to finish checks.
Yeah.
They got some big guys.
It just takes me back to a conversation we had about fake tough and actual toughness and what fans, we'll get people who respond to us like, why don't the Canes do this? Or why didn't this happen after that? But at this point, if they don't understand how you want your team out there to play, that's on them at this point.
Well, I always say the response is always in the handshake line.
Yeah.
And you could, I heard some rumblings on that one when Meyer bumps Freddie. It's not even, what are you going to do? So they don't call a penalty on that, and then we jump them. We take a penalty, and we lose that game because and what do you really do with that guy?
Yeah.
He's not fighting you.
Yeah.
People, those days are kind of behind you, and it's different time and place of games. You got to be smart about it because it's not worth taking penalties to give a guy a face wash. It's just not. So, we have to have that discipline. I think our guys are pretty good about it. That game when we played wash, it was a little different. But that game, the stakes weren't as high.
Yeah.
Right? So we were able to, okay, you cheap shot me, I'm going to get you back. But I don't want that because you don't want to put it in the hands of the referees.
All right, before we say goodbye, have you ever had a hot Cheeto?
I don't really even know what that is.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay. Because you got to remember, it doesn't work out with the season, but one of my white whales of radio content, podcast content, is to get you to the fair.
I've been to the fair.
But what do you eat at the fair?
I don't eat anything at the fair.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That's not really going to the fair.
That's not really going to the fair. Come on. You're doing the rides. I'm sure you got some games. I want you to have.
He wants a Fat Rod day.
Yeah. I want Rod cheat day at the fair.
I'm going back in the day because when I went, it was a long time ago.
Sure.
Back in the 2000 era. And I do think I might have had a turkey leg.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
I might have.
That's like the healthiest option you can find.
But I had a hard time eating it because all the
No.
There's something that wasn't a good.
They had something that was a deep fried dough with Oreo cookies, Reese's peanut butter cup, and I think a moon pie. It was called Fry Me Over the Moon. Okay. It was 5 different things deep fried in one.
I wouldn't have touched that. No. I wouldn't have. I would have, maybe had a bite of it. Honestly, but I probably. There's no way I would be buying that.
See, Ovechkin eats that. He will eat that. And he's out there for a game. He's ready to go.
Better than me. That's what I told you. Clearly.
Thanks, Rod.
All right.
What? I was curious about the hot Cheeto thing.
It's rare that we leave a interview where I'm harassing a coach with obvious coaching points. And I'm not even the main takeaway. The main takeaway was you obsessed with these Cheetos.
Then again, I'm not the one sitting next to Sebastian Aho with, hey,
there's finally something I'm qualified to give you advice on.
I got parenting advice.
Finally. And you and Luke of all people, okay.
All right. Yeah.
All
so
right,
congratulations to Sebastian and Rosa. They welcomed baby daughter last Friday. So you sat down and we caught this exchange where you're telling Aho, I got something I can finally give you advice on.
We finally found something that I'm qualified to give you advice about.
I don't know about all that.
You see the votes of confidence from my colleagues here.
Yeah.
So what do you think so far of your being a dad?
It's great. Obviously, holding your own baby for the first time, it's unreal feeling, and very proud of my wife, how what she went through, and she was a rock star throughout the whole process. And obviously, I'm still in the hospital for a day, but probably we're excited when we get to take a baby at home and start the life as a little family.
So you already figured out quickly who the real important one is here.
Oh, it was known already before that, but it just confirms it for sure.
Yeah.
There's hockey tough, and then you see that.
Yeah.
That completely changes your dynamic.
Yeah.
Also, let's talk about responsibility. I mean, like, you think killing penalties is tough, like changing diapers, like being in charge of another human. Like, these are all like big picture questions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean,
look how grown up you are too. Like, you have facial hair. This is like your first playoffs
tough.
with facial hair.
It's tough, right? It's tough. Look, but I do it for the boys, and maybe my dad's hormones kick in, and I'll get a full set of beard.
It's going to cause some gray, too. That's the other thing, too. Having a kid on triple color. Like, look at us.
Yeah.
You know, this beard is gray because of that.
Did you get your daughter a full history of the Winter War? A full collection?
What?
About the Winter War, like, so she can learn. Because she's going to be in America too much. She's not going to learn about important Finnish history.
I'm sure she'll learn Finnish history as well, and but yeah, take a day at a time.
Okay. We'll get you the DVD of the rock and roll dinosaurs too.
Yeah, I don't know what that
is.
Was
Terravina was into that. It was like the Finnish show that was like dinosaurs that sang. There was like a Rockosaurus, I think it was called, or something like that. Anyway, I'll look it up. I'll show it to you.
Have you come down from your goal yet? Because I feel like I rarely have seen you that excited. Maybe when you beat me in Mulkey, you were that excited. The last time I saw you that excited.
From the goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have a kind of a short memory in the playoffs. I mean, definitely enjoyed it for a night, but then the next day comes and you're just starting to think of already like who we're gonna play next, stuff like that, and obviously to me, I was definitely for a couple of days there not thinking hockey, we're thinking family stuff, and so yeah.
When you think of Washington, you normally think of Alexander Ovechkin, but it feels like this year it's so many guys popping so many goals this year that their depth is really quite better than it's ever been, I think.
Sure, you can say that probably. Great team. Like you said, they good in offense, but for sure they play a structured game and defense well, and so yeah, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a hard series, but as it should be this time of year. I mean, in my opinion, there's two really good teams going at it, and we're just excited for the game one.
Okay. You thought I was confusing him. Dinosaurs.
So, all right. I don't know how I figured this out. Oh, I know what it was. I went to Alamo once, and they showed this kids show called Heavy Source. I got the name of the thing wrong.
Okay.
And for those who are unfamiliar, it is a kids show where these people, it's a collection of dinosaurs who play rock. I'm on YouTube right now. If you're watching on YouTube, you can hear the music. Hopefully I won't get like a rights claim on this, but here is Heavy Source.
Myrskyn silmässä kurkuja hakkaa Tompi, tuhannen ritteri koivalla loppaa Saurus, Varme ja Marssi ei käy, kun Saurus huutaa näy.
There you go.
How many dinosaurs came out of that door?
There's a lot of dinosaurs that came out of that door, and they've got like live footage of them rocking out like I'm watching like a Van Halen concert on MTV. So I asked him, I went up, I'm like, it's Heavy Source. He goes, oh, no. I'm too old for that. So, but there's like a fine line. We were actually texting with Hayes about this, Hayes Permar over at the Rialto, because like you were completely checked out on the Weezer conversation. And
Yes.
there is a line of demarcation for age when it comes to a couple of these things. Okay. So it's like Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah.
So Caleb was super into Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah. Don't bite your friends, Joe.
Try it. You'll like it. Anyway. But Jacob, who's 3 years younger, sort of missed out on that. He wasn't into the Yo Gabba Gabba because at that point, Yo Gabba Gabba had kind of cycled out. But thankfully, he also aged out before things like Paw Patrol could teach him propaganda, right?
Oh,
Okay. Paw Patrol, man, I got serious issues with Paw Patrol. Serious issues with Paw Patrol.
Or Festivus for next year.
Maybe. So anyway, so I asked him, I'm like, so this. He's like, oh no, that was like 2000 time frame. I'd already like aged out of that. He's like familiar, but not. But I'm still gonna find him a DVD.
I was coming in too hot for Fishy there. I think I know what happened though.
You always come in too hot with Fishy.
No, but I think I actually legitimately know what happened. He spent the whole weekend with his wife.
Yeah,
who speaks Finnish.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could see, he was a little bit rusty with his English there.
Okay,
I think that's legit.
Or he's just tired because they just had a baby.
Both. I bet you it's both. I bet you he had a full immersion weekend of Finnish.
Probably.
And did not have a whole lot of English because his English is a lot better than that.
Oh yeah, easily. But yeah, it's it could just be like when I go down to South Florida and I'm immersed in Spanish again and I'm actually like okay with picking up in Spanish again. Who knows? It might be something like that. We're in the middle of a hockey break. That means you should head on over to Happy and Hale for lunch today.
Let's take a break. Let's take a hockey break. Brought to you by Happy and Hale.
Go check out the pop-up at Smoky Hollow right now. $10. You're not going to find a better lunch deal in downtown Raleigh or really anywhere than $10 for Happy and Hale.
Yeah.
So they got great bowls there. You can grab yourself a bubbly drink as well and go about your business. But more importantly, download the app. Use the promo code OG25 to save 25% when you use the app. That way you can get in, out, go about your business after your break is over. And then take a screen grab of that, send it to us. And you could be in the running for life, 20% off the metal black card. How much Happy and Hale do I need to eat to look like Mark Jankowski?
It's too late.
Is it too late?
Yeah.
I'm not getting in shape like that?
No.
Probably not. Anyway, you moseyed over to Jankowski's locker and the conversation went right back to what happened on April 2nd.
All right, so you've had more than a month now to figure out why Nick Dowd was so mad at you from the April 2nd game at the Lenovo Center. Have you gone back through your Instagram history? Is there some sort of connection there that made him talk to you the way that he did from the penalty box?
No, honestly, after the game, kind of forgot about it. So yeah, I mean, it's just two teams going at it, heat of the moment. Obviously, tensions are high and two competitive guys. So, I think that's all you can really attribute that to.
Could you hear what he was saying? Because it was loud in the building.
Yeah, honestly.
Were you paying attention?
Honestly, the building was so loud. We were just kind of yelling at each other. I don't know what he was saying. He probably doesn't know what I was saying. It was just so loud. We were just kind of, like I said, heat of the moment, two guys that are competitive and just kind of going at it a little bit.
You guys have seen each other, obviously, since Washington, so there's not a whole lot of carryover there. But, was that unusual to see someone that animated?
I mean,
it just seemed because there was so much going on, it seemed like, why is this guy getting so irate with me?
I mean, I think you see that in the league, just like I said, when, competitive juices are flowing and, tensions are high and, you're battling out there in a hockey game. I mean, it's you see that quite a bit. I think guys are going at it, guys are just being competitive and, and I think that's all you can really attribute that to.
Okay, you get here, you score all these goals where you're like, man, I need to be in Carolina for the rest of my life.
No, I mean, I've loved my time here so far. Obviously, it's been a great transition. Everyone here has been amazing to kind of help me feel at home right away, which I think helps to translate to that on the ice as well. So, I'm just excited to be on this squad now and looking forward to keeping it rolling.
Are you okay with Jank and Stank, or does Stank and Jank? Is there an order to it that matters to you?
No, whatever you guys want to go with there.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
So there was our trio of Canes conversations yesterday at Invisalign ahead of tonight's game 1 between the Caps and the Canes. Shout out to Leaves last night.
Born in 94.
Yeah.
Jankowski.
Yeah.
Whew. He's in unbelievable shape.
I think we just spent too much time around each other and we're just a bunch of
30 years old.
Yeah.
Looks good, man. I never looked that good at any age.
Oh, ever. No. I look
ever.
I've always looked like this. There's nothing I did about even you want to get
That's
into
not true. You were Fat Joe at one point.
buddy, you want to get into cringe conversations between me and Brind'Amour? I can bring up the time. I remember to this day when he started peppering me with questions about P90X when I was doing P90X for radio advertisement purposes, where they had to take my picture and all that crap, which that's got to be on a hard drive somewhere. Who knows? Hopefully it's been deleted. But anyway, there is something on the internet for everybody. But Brind'Amour, this is after he retired. He officially retired. He'd come over to the radio station. And he says, yeah, because he listens.
He does.
He listens. And he admits it too. He's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
catch you guys every so often.
Yeah.
And he's like, so tell me about this P90X. I'm like, dude, there's nothing that's happening on P90X that would interest you in any way, shape, or form based on how you work out. So it was quite the cringe conversation of me trying to have a workout combo with Brind'Amour. You would have appreciated it. You definitely would have appreciated it.
Well, hopefully hot Cheetos were not involved back then.
Next time I'll bring up Takis.
Housekeeping.
Big thanks to Inovana. Check them out online at inovana.com.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Inovana.
Did you know we have a collection of shirts at Breaking Tea? Go to breakingtea.com/OG and you can get the wonderful OG Golf Classic t-shirt in brilliant green and yellow. You can get that in a hoodie as well. You might be in a hockey mood. That's cool. We got the hockey edition that looks a lot like the Ice Caps logo, but totally not. Dead Conference, we got that one as well. We got the OG flag, positive vibes only, the Skyhawks inspired one, and of course, Joe's personal favorite, the Cougar, the Carolina Cougar OG podcast shirt. That's Joe's favorite shirt. We're about due for a hat vault. We're about due for a hat vault. Be on the lookout for that. You are due to make a fantastic meal for Mother's Day. You know what you need to do? You need to go to the butcher's market, and they're going to make it
Tuesdays.
super easy. So yes, we got a Temptation Tuesday today, Joe. What happens on Temptation Tuesday?
You save a whole lot of money. Baked, pre-baked items. You can also get your ground beef.
Mhm.
Buy one, get one. Chicken thighs. Buy one, get one by the pound. Hey, that's a hell of a deal.
This sounds to me like you need to go to the butcher's market today, take advantage of all that stuff,
It
and then
is
have
Mother's Day on Sunday.
a crazy great meal on Sunday. Now, you might
We
think
don't sell the never nudes, but we do sell chicken thighs and ground beef.
the thickest of thighs
Yeah.
on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Now, I would say this, though. You might
Always
think
nude. What was it?
it was called Never Nude. No. What were they called?
Nearly nude.
Nearly nude. Yeah, nearly
Just
nude.
like nude.
No, nearly nude. And I think the whole tagline was like
It's like
she's gonna
nothing's
love
there.
she's gonna love the way they feel, and you will too.
Yeah.
It was something cheesy like that.
You'll love the chicken thigh.
You'll love thick. 2 C's. Here's the thing about Sunday though. Now here's the thing.
No, really. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
This is
You want to do something nice. Butcher's Market's going to make it super easy.
yeah.
Then you can get all the ingredients you need, or you could just fake it, and they have stuff that's already ready to go.
Ooh.
And then you can prepare the meal and just get rid of the evidence, and it
Be
looks
like,
like you did it.
"Nah,
Oh no, I
it's
did
me,
this
babe."
all from scratch.
Yeah.
All from scratch. And then it's like, are you sure? And then you just distract them with amazing flavors from Two Roosters on Sunday.
Yeah.
Better yet, take mom two roosters.
All right, let's check Glenn's text from the board.
What?
The
Go to
flavors.
Go to tworoosters.com. You can check out the monthly rotation. It's the kid flavors this month.
Extreme s'mores.
Mm-hmm.
We have strawberry lemon pound cake. We have caramel peanut butter Oreo. Are you kidding?
That sounds good.
Key lime pie, Mississippi mud cake, and the mango berry lemonade sorbet. Mango foxtrot. Let's go.
That's all at Two Roosters. And of course, you want to look good on Mother's Day, right? You want to look good.
Hey, girl.
Hey, what's going on? Look at me in my sharp rowback.
I got my robe back on.
You got your rowback on today. You can go out in a
Always,
sharp
by the
polo.
way.
But here's the thing, too. We're focused on the hoodies and the polos and things like that. Guess what? Rowback has stuff for women, too.
What?
What? Yeah, so go to rowback.com and make it a great Mother's Day.
Even better. Women be shopping.
You're going to stop it.
Especially at Roback.
Stop it. You're going to love the way the rowback looks and how it feels. So go to roback.com, use that promo code OG20 to save 20% off your order. You're like, where is this going?
Where?
Yeah, I took it there.
There we go.
I'm really not trying to talk about Bill Belichick every day, but damn it, there's something new with Bill Belichick every day to the point where I finally had to do it. I had to do it, Joe. Are you ready?
I am.
I cannot imagine having the opportunity 5 days a week to watch what is happening with Bill Belichick.
And the kiss goodbye. Look at that. Look, you are proud of yourself.
I'm so proud of myself. Graphic design is my passion.
It is.
Clearly my passion.
Do you think Kyle has the right idea here, though? You need the ding, ding.
Oh,
ding,
what? The
ding,
Young and the
ding,
Restless?
Ding, ding, ding,
Maybe. All right, so you're probably wondering, how in the hell are they going to incorporate Bill Belichick today? Folks, I don't have to try, especially when Mike Lombardi goes on the ACC network. Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Who reached out to who? Do you think the ACC network has been trying to get somebody over at UNC to talk about the football program, or like the producers for the Packer show for ACC PM? They've been after UNC, like, can we get Bill? Can we get Mike Lombardi? Can we get somebody? I mean, Lombardi's going on with McAfee. Bill's been on with McAfee. Hey, we're the ACC network. Can we get somebody from UNC to talk about UNC football? This is a big deal for us, right? Do you think a producer's been hitting up Carolina, or did Carolina, with all the things that have been going on with Bill Belichick, said, send somebody out there to talk about football? Somebody.
Probably both. Probably a combination of both.
Okay.
So I do think this was a direct result of the disaster of the week that was for Carolina. And well, yeah, it is Carolina because it's not just Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Even though he was wearing a Navy sweatshirt. And look at this. Oh my gosh. Did they find someone to talk about not only football, but with a Carolina logo? Congratulations. Finally.
Whoa. Don't be popping champagne yet.
I'm just saying.
Don't pop. I haven't even played the clip yet.
I know, but I want to give him credit for making a positive step.
Don't pop the champagne, because Mike Lombardi found a way to once again illustrate. Do you understand the assignment? I don't think you understand the assignment.
We'll see and sense immediately that will be different about North Carolina football in 2025.
Oh, we're going to be tougher. You know, look, we wear Carolina blue, and I know it looks like a soft color, but we're going to get tougher. You know,
Awkward silence.
I'm sorry. What? Hold on. No, he didn't say that, did he? Hold on.
2025.
Oh, we're going to be tougher. You know, look, we wear Carolina blue, and I know it looks like a soft color, but we're going to get tougher. You know?
I know the school is super proud of their distinctive color and that there are many throughout history who believe that Carolina blue is the color because God is actually a Tar Heel fan. But, 1970s football brain, it's soft.
What are they gonna?
It's so soft.
Are they gonna paint the visiting locker room pink too?
Kirk Ferentz did that.
We're gonna do that.
His guy, Kirk Ferentz.
We're gonna do that. Wait, it is 2025, right?
Is.
I just wanted to double check. To your point, Carolina blue is a feature, not a bug, of Carolina fandom. You joke. You're not. That's not a joke. At Keenan, back in the day, the PA announcer used to say, "What color is the sky?" And the crowd would chant back, "Carolina blue." And you're right. God must have been a Tar Heel, because the sky is Carolina blue. Carolina fans love that damn color. And you went on Packer Show and you said, "Yeah, I know it looks soft, but buddy, no. No, Lombardi, buddy, no. No. You grab the schedule. Should we say the schedule's Carolina Blue? In Lombardi's mind, is that what it is? So I just look, man, if you think I'm making a big deal out of this, I'm really not, because it comes back to the central thing I've been saying now for the last couple of weeks. Right down to Bill Belichick not showing up in Carolina stuff, Bill Belichick being more interested in his book and wearing Navy sweaters than he is talking about Carolina football. Mike Lombardi having the galaxy brain to say, I know, he probably practiced it in the mirror. We're going to be tough. And
I'll play the whole clip, though.
The clip gets even
glorious.
Better. Oh, the clip gets even better because Mac Brown's catching strays.
Yeah.
So I just want to say this. Being a college football coach is a lot like being a wrestler, to borrow an analogy from our friend Dimitri. If it's all wrestling, while I understand that it's fake, you still got to sell it. And while I understand that coaches take jobs because of money and various other aspects and not necessarily the love of the school, once they take the job, you know what they do a good job of doing? Selling it like they love the school and understand the school.
Fake it till you make it.
Randy Edsel once said that Maryland was a dream job. It's not his dream job, but he said it was, because that's what you got to say. Because that's what the people who are paying you and writing checks in the millions of dollar range want to hear. I can tell you right now, Mike, Carolina fans do not want to hear from their general manager on the ACC network that, the color is kind of soft, but we're going to be tough. Here's the whole clip.
Be tougher. Look, we wear Carolina blue, and I know it looks like a soft color, but we're going to get tougher. Coach Belichick and I both believe in mental and physical toughness, and we're going to tackle better. We're going to have more contact. We're going to be a more physical team. Remember what I said earlier in this interview? We're going to control the middle of the field. Right? The only way you control the middle of the field is be physical. We're not playing powder puff football. We're not having a camp that everybody's going to join in and we're all going to go to Dairy Queen after the game, right? We're going to be a physical football team, and we're going to play that way. And the only way you can play that way is to coach that way. And there's an old saying in football, you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. We're going to coach toughness. We're going to coach physicality, and this team will be physical. It may not happen in September. It takes some time to develop a team, but by the end of the year, we will be a physical football team.
It may not happen in September. Yikes.
I never want the season to start, man. I don't. I love all these clips. I love all the Galaxy brand that comes with it. I love the fact that they were calling Mac Brown's team soft. And that might be the case, I guess. In fairness, Doc Kennedy, big Tar Heel guy. We've gone back and forth on social media a bunch. I put that out there on Blue Sky. And he says people need to touch grass. A, UNC was soft as Charmin under Mac. B, he didn't say he didn't like it. C, if he said people think it looks like a soft color, this isn't a thing. NC State fans at Carter Finley my junior year yelling, "Don't drop the soap pack" when UNC debuted blue pants in '89, thought it was soft. Right. I get all that stuff. I don't think it's out. I don't think you need to go outside and touch grass when I get back to my central point. You got to act like you know where you're coaching. You got to act like you know where you're selling it. And right now, man, it's little things that continue to pile up and just illustrate once and for all. Do you really want to be here?
Yeah, I mean, this actually goes back to Butch Davis, who also objected to the light blue.
They didn't call it soft!
And wanted to wear the navy blue and change the colors, the iconic colors of the University of North Carolina. So much to the point there under Larry Fedora, we got to something called 0 dark 30.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm turning on it. Here's my rule. If I turn on the TV and I don't know what school you are, that might work for Oregon. That might work for Maryland. That might work for some lesser school that needs parlor tricks. One of the smartest things Bubba Cunningham did was after 0 dark 30 was like, okay, we're going to put the Argyle on the side of the pants. We are going to wear Carolina blue, and we are going to wear white. These are our colors.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to wear.
Yeah.
You want us to accent certain things with the dark blue? Great. We can do that. But we are going to be the University of North Carolina, the brand that sold shorts, the brand that got Michael Jordan, the brand that sustained however many years later with top basketball recruit after top basketball recruit because of the color. Come on.
Looks soft though, Joe, but we're not soft. Phew. Meanwhile, over at Us Weekly headline.
Wow.
The real reason why 24-year-old Jordon Hudson. The real reason why 24-year-old Jordon Hudson is dating 73-year-old Bill Belichick. Source exclusive.
Exclusive. This is amazing.
You get one guess as to who the source is. Yada, yada, yada. Hudson, 24, simply grew tired of dating people her own age prior to meeting Belichick, a source exclusively tells Us Weekly. She was 20. She was already tired of dating dudes her age? Okay. Source shares that Hudson became disenchanted with how immature younger men were and started to prefer the treatment of older gentlemen. Jordon dated people her own age and didn't like the way she was being treated, an insider said. The source added,
An insider to what?
The source said, boys her age can be pigs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can understand she wants to be treated more than just a sexual relationship and have a connection.
Twin flames.
Yeah, the twin flames. Yeah.
My muse.
Boys her age can be pigs. Didn't we just play a clip with Bill O'Brien about stank ass feet? Did we? This man showing up in a cutoff hoodie.
Again, I'm just happy that they're on the proactive PR campaign of Us Weekly and the ACC network.
And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, shout out to Maidenform. The bras, I'm on Us Weekly. The bras you can wear so you can wear what you want. Hey, that's good advertising.
There's something on the internet.
Hey, Maidenform, hit us up. Hit us up. We can do some advertising. And then finally, over to the Daily Mail as we wrap up today in Bill Belichick.
More from the Daily Mail?
More from the Daily Mail revealed Jordon Hudson's jaw-dropping call with Daily Mail reporter about her relationship with Bill Belichick. I guess with all the things that were going on with CBS, they said, all right, well, let me tell you about the call I got back in June. And the thing that that apparently she took the most objection to was it's all pictures of Jordon Hudson and Bill Belichick. It was the Bill Belichick leaving shirtless from her place.
The door cam.
Yeah, the door cam.
What's that called? The ring cam.
The ring cam. Yeah. Doing a suspected walk of shame in 2023. And that was the thing that apparently she took the most objection to in that conversation.
Okay.
So there you go, folks. There is today in Bill Belichick.
I cannot imagine having the opportunity 5 days a week to watch what is happening with Bill Belichick.
All right, let's do a quick lightning round. Actually, before we do lightning round, I almost feel like today in Bill Belichick should be brought to you by Keller Williams commercial.
There we go.
I mean, we're not necessarily talking about the ACC all the time, but we can talk about Bill Belichick all the time.
Yeah.
TriangleNCCommercial.com. Give him a call at 919-616-8681. Maybe
they should call because he has a $100,000 moving expense,
right?
Yeah.
Stash all the stuff.
Yeah.
Whatever you need. Maybe you have a bunch of Maidenform bras. I don't know.
Or books.
That's true too, because we know there'll probably be a surplus of books that were not sold. So go to Triangle. That came out today, right?
No idea.
Yeah, today's the day.
Awesome.
Today's the day for the book.
Awesome.
TriangleNCCommercial.com. Call them 919-616-8681. All right, let's go through a couple of quick headlines here. Justin Tucker, released by the Ravens. Team announced yesterday that it was a football decision, quote unquote. But the timing of all of this has to do with the fact that Tucker is under investigation. 16 Baltimore area massage therapists have accused Tucker of misconduct this year.
16.
Yeah. The NFL is still investigating those claims. But the announcement from the Ravens was very much like, no, but we just want to make you understand that this was a football decision. We are grateful for Justin's many contributions while playing for the Ravens. We sincerely wish him and his family the very best in the next chapter of their lives. I'm not going to get too heavy here. The only thing I would add is that this is classic sports in that when you're good and you're playing at a high level, we will look past certain things. when you're falling off and these things happen, well, we're not going to look the other way and we can just kind of move on from you because what are you really contributing at this point? Lost in all this is that Justin Tucker wasn't Mr. Automatic last year.
Right. Which is, to your point, why they're moving on from him.
Yes.
If the language is odd.
What?
The language that they use, like, it's almost like he died and, it's like, no, this was really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think what you're saying is sometimes football decisions are incredibly difficult, and this one is one of those instances. Yeah. It's like they took him to the vet, and it's like
they're putting him down. He's crossing the Rainbow Bridge, and they're acting like it's not because he's a shitty kicker now.
No,
or a shitty human. They're acting like no. It's really just
it's time
because we drafted a kicker, and
it's time.
We've got a lot to get to. It's a lightning round.
Meanwhile, to college football, Sharon Moore, Michigan Wolverines head coach. He's going to miss 2 games this upcoming football season. According to The Athletic, he allegedly deleted text messages from Connor Stallions.
And?
Remember the sign stealing saga? Was that
Sure.
2 years ago or whatever it was, right?
Whatever.
So Moore will coach the first 2 games of the season, including a matchup against Oklahoma before sitting out matchups against Central Michigan and Nebraska.
This is from the NCAA or the Big Ten?
This is from the. Hold on a second. Let me double check on this one. Hold on a second. I'm getting all sorts of paywalls and various other things.
It says as part of a self-imposed sanction.
Okay, self-imposed sanction. Well, that would explain why they're doing Central Michigan and Nebraska, which if you're Matt Rule, how do you feel about the fact that we get to pick the 2 games that our coach is sitting out and you're one of them? We're putting you on the same level as Central Michigan. Cool with that? We need him for Oklahoma, right? Although they didn't need Jim Harbaugh. Remember when Harbaugh had to serve his suspension?
Yeah. Speaking of honoring people like they died, remember they would hold up.
Oh, they all held the 4 and Moore was in tears. This was for you. Like all this other stuff. Like, did Jim die? I don't think he died.
This is so stupid. I don't even know why the NCAA exists anymore.
Oh, well, in this particular
Give me a
case,
break.
my other takeaway from this, other than Matt Rule, do you feel insulted that they're cool with you and Central Michigan being the reasons why?
Yeah.
And I know Matt. Please, people, don't send me pictures of Matt Rule at the WWE event last night. I don't need to see that. Anyway,
I saw that clip and I'm like, really?
Do Michigan people still want to act like nothing happened?
Honestly, we've just spent more time on this than.
No, what I'm saying, what I'm getting at is that this is now 2 coaches over multiple years that we're still talking about Connor Stallions, and Michigan keeps going like, yeah, okay, fine, we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to do this. Like, can we just cop to the fact that you're doing something that went above and beyond normal sign stealing? Can we just cop to it finally? It's okay. You got your championship.
Yeah, I don't. It's all. Yeah.
It's coming down the lightning round. It's a lightning round. It's a lightning round.
What if I told you the Boston Celtics were up 20 points on the New York Knicks? And in my best sports machine voice, no. I'm sorry. That was the guy from New York on
George Michael?
No. George Michael was the sports machine. I'm trying to remember the guy who was on with Imus, who would go, if you had the Celtics up 20 in the 4th quarter against the Knicks, you lost. I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head. But anyway, that's what happened last night. Knicks 108, Celtics 105. The Boston Celtics went absolutely cold. They went 15 of 60 overall. Jason Tatum and Derek White missing 11, and they both missed 11. And then who else?
As a team, they missed 45 threes.
45 threes.
Yeah.
45 threes.
That's a lot.
Is this series over?
Oh, clearly. Yes.
Actually, more important, the more comical thing was Adam Zagoria popping online yesterday and saying, with game-sealing steal, Knicks Mikal Bridges validates trading 5 first-round picks.
I thought that was an Onion headline. Because I'm like sitting here checking notes. I'm like, 2nd round, game 1, didn't even make the shot. It was a steal.
Yeah.
But he's now worth 5 number 1s because of one play
So
in overtime.
So Zagoria has been known to be kind of tongue in cheek sometimes on social media, but he has a story attached to this, and he's absolutely breaking down the deal that brought bridges there.
He's also a Villanova wonk. Like
that's fair
part
too.
of it.
That's true too. That's true too. Meanwhile, you got OKC and Denver, the classic debate: foul up three.
But Oklahoma City also frittered away a large lead in this game. Man, the West really was a styles make fights. I actually now listening back to yesterday's podcast, I actually feel bad for the Lakers.
Okay.
Because they could have beaten Denver.
Okay.
Like it was all about styles make fights out West. It really, really was.
Jokic had like 42 last night.
I understand that, but the matchup.
Oh,
the matchup. I'm talking about the matchup specifically, particularly the way that they had played against Denver at the end. Don't forget, Denver just fired their coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I get they just beat the Clippers, but the Clippers have James Harden. All right. James Harden is the worst arguably the worst playoff superstar ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually felt bad seeing this result. Maybe the Lakers ultimately get bounced by Minnesota anyway, but I went into these playoffs, especially specifically in the West, saying, well, who has a closer? Who's going to handle these things? Like, do you really think Oklahoma City, who amassed the best record in the NBA this year, like, do you really think they're going to be the ones who close this deal?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could definitely beat Denver. Don't get me wrong, but it just feels like in Cleveland and Oklahoma City in particular, you have two teams amass a lot of wins during the regular season, and there's a whole lot of prove it in both of those franchises to see what they're going to do. Right down to Chet Holmgren.
Mm-hmm.
You know me. You know how I feel about Chet and my Zags. Missing those free throws. I mean, that's kind of sort of where the game was decided.
That's where the game was decided. That's where things went haywire.
But shouts to Gordon for pulling up, hitting that three.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was big time.
Hey, man. I know there's all this hand wringing about the NBA and ratings and all this other kind of stuff. When the ratings are down, people want to act as this big referendum on the league and then the NBA and why nobody watching. Numbers are up. Youths are watching too.
I might say something ridiculous that NBA people might not like. It was floated before the All-Star break that Adam Silver had been talking about shortening the NBA game to 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that's one of their problems. Every basketball game on the planet is played to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, why not play a 40-minute game? And I know what you're saying about the Players Association and historical records and this and that.
I don't care.
You've already shown that you're going to rest players anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need those extra minutes to have extra bodies.
You don't.
You can just have players play full games instead of giving them the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter.
I would
for the TV window, basketball was made for a 40-minute game.
Yes.
And if they were to do that, my attention for the NBA would be double.
Also, you'd universalize it too. Like, why college doesn't go to quarters?
Right.
Like the women's game, it's beyond me.
Right.
Just
Now,
go to quarters already.
NBA,
I get the TV timeouts and all that kind of stuff. Just go quarters, man.
Adam Silver's point was more of these are the FIBA rules, and even going to more of those FIBA rules where the basket interference. Like a homogenized version of professional basketball or international basketball, I do think would be a good for basketball.
I agree. Speaking of saving, we're talking about saving time. More importantly, you want to save money. That's where Matt Davis over at State Farm can help you out. InsureGarner.com is the website. 919-779-8277. Just start the conversation. See what your rates are at right now. See what Matt Davis can do for you and start saving money in the process. We've had a lot of OG listeners that have reached out and have saved money with Matt Davis. And if you haven't done that call yet, do it now. 919-779-8277. Speaking of time is money, you don't want to be dealing with mosquitoes and bugs and laying out roach traps and all this other stuff. No. That's a pain. What you need to do is call the experts, Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. Go to bugsbite.com. You can bundle and save with the outdoor treatments of Mosquito Authority along with the indoor pest control of Pest Authority. So call today or visit the website to get that quote right now. No contracts. Go as long as you want to go. Give it a shot at bugsbite.com. And of course, our friends at Breeze Through, we are going to do a block party at some point. I'm kind of banking on a game 6. We'll be at the Breeze Through at Lenovo. It's going to be a busy 5 days at Lenovo starting on Friday. Shane Gillis, hockey, Pearl Jam, more hockey, more Pearl Jam. You're probably going to be tailgating. Go to the beer cave. gas up, get your snacks, stay hydrated because it's going to be a busy weekend at Lenovo, and make sure you get it all done at Breeze Through. Joining us in studio on the Heister Automotive Group microphone, Gordon Miller, Miller Lending. Hit him up, millerlending.com/the OG, or call him directly at 919-447-3377. Gordon, I feel like what's old is new again. We're going to be doing this through the summer. Little Tuesdays with Gordon. Not every Tuesday, like every other Tuesday with Gordon. And there's going to be a lot of wagering conversation. And I'm like, is this just Gordon's way of dusting off the old Hank bit?
It is.
From 20 years ago?
100%.
For those who are unfamiliar with Hank Goldberg,
may he rest in peace.
R.I.P. Hank Goldberg, a staple of my sports radio consumption as a child, with my dad driving around South Florida to Dolphins games and Hurricanes games and everything else,
and horse racing.
Yes, well, he would do he would do his radio show from the horse track.
From the horse track, right?
I mean,
yes.
just
right.
An absolute legend, man.
Highlight?
No, he was at the horse track.
I was at Highlight,
which is rigged.
I was just saying, you're bet on Highlight.
I audited Highlight.
You might have a bigger problem than I do.
That was my first job out of college.
Do you think
Dania Highlight?
Do you think Gordon would do the that German TV show and betting on how far the ball will go?
Yes,
he might do that. He might do that.
I have limits.
So you and I had the same kind of Hank Goldberg background here, but you really want to live that life. Me, I was not interested in hanging out at the horse track. You, on the other hand,
well, I'm not into horses. So I never took a liking for horse racing.
Some of our friends are, though.
But you know, it's a fun it's a fun way to supplement your day. You know, get a little excitement at night, keep the engine going. You know, it's some of this stuff. It's
I'm just saying,
part of life.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't legal then, so it made it more fun.
How much time did you spend at Dania Highlight? My dad took me once to go see Highlight.
So I audited.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Out of college, I worked in accounting for Deloitte Touche. CPAs.
Okay.
So one of my first jobs, you'd love this, was Hollywood Dog Track.
Oh, geez.
And Dania Highlight.
Dude, the Hollywood Dog Track was degenerate central. The only thing that came close to that would be the chariot races.
What kind of greasy palm action were you into? If you were the Deloitte guy who had to go, either everyone hated you or you were lining your pockets.
There
was no in between.
They were one-man audits. The Hollywood Dog.
There was no in between.
You're right out of college. You don't know anything about the back room of paramutuals. So
yeah.
I understand how Enron happened, because some poor kid out of college is trying to figure out, oil accounting and
sure.
Yeah. So I'm in there with paramutuals, and all I knew was, the dog that looks sick will be put down after. That's about it. There wasn't really an end to the dog track part. I faked that. It was the worst audit ever. I don't even know what we got paid for, but Dania Highlight was fun because they all lived in a park right across pretty much from Dania Highlight. Mm-hmm. So after the night was over, we'd all end up back, hanging out in the mobile home park with everybody that barely spoke English. They were all from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And Dania Highlight at that time was a big sport. It's really, after the strike they had years ago, it kind of fell apart. But, the fun part was, I spent a lot of time at Dania Highlight, spent time with the players, got to know who was hungover, got to know who had a baby.
Wait a second. While you're auditing. No, wait a second. They would have hired Deloitte. Whoever was the company running the Highlight League or whatever hired Deloitte.
Right. Fred Chase owned Dania Highlight. He contacted Touche Rouse at the time. They had merged and hired them to do their annual
you
audits.
Come in and give it the old, here's where you could save $4. Here's what you should get rid of.
I'm a one-man audit, not knowing anything, and I'm there, and I'm going to find every criminal act. No, I didn't.
So Gordon.
All I figured out was who to bet on, because if somebody was having a baby, they won that day. If I knew who was on,
you didn't go. You didn't go by.
You can top any of some of your other stories.
Oh,
this might be number one on my list.
They didn't call you big balls down in South Florida, did they? Like in Doge. You weren't doing that now, were you?
No, I was kind of quiet at the time, because being ignorant as a 20-some-year-old, I always asked the question, why don't we have Miami Highlight? as
Oh,
well
I
because
gotcha.
there's two massive highlight frontons.
Right.
And I would go to Miami Highlight and we didn't have the audit, and I'd ask questions and they would tell me not to ask any more questions.
Good call.
And
Especially
then
with
I,
highlight, man. It's a good thing you didn't just like end up out in Lake Okeechobee somewhere, man.
well,
Down in the
because
Everglades or some shit.
Roger Wheeler went down when I was asking all these questions.
Oh,
so
okay.
Miami Highlight tried to go legit. And if you saw the Whitey Bulger story,
Mhm.
they were laundering through
Buddy.
Highlight.
Not a great idea.
They
And what year was this now?
they shot Roger in his car after a golf round in Arkansas. Went out and executed him right there and took it back. So
What year are we talking here,
It was
too?
mob run. 82, 83, 84.
Yeah, buddy.
You're lucky to be here, man. Just saying.
Very lucky.
Very lucky.
Not that Miami's clean now, but in
Oh, absolutely. Well, now,
All we
now
we knew- right.
the young Gordon
It
of
was-
today would be going out to the middle of the swamp to go do a cockfighting ring at this point. That's what you'd be
Possibly. It was-
doing. There was
yeah.
one that was busted the last couple of years, and people were flabbergasted to find out. Now, Gordon, you know this, but for those who are unfamiliar, the seediness has shifted away from things like highlight, or the chariot races were also like super shady as well. That was in Pompano, right? Was it the harness track?
Those
Didn't
I don't recall that. as
Yeah, there
well.
was a harness track out in Pompano that was also a little on the shady side, but all the
The
shadiness.
Trotters.
Yeah, so that's all now moved to like those really weird rock quarry areas in the middle of the Everglades. And they've got these elaborate cockfighting rings where there's a full bar, light systems, DJs, like the chickens are coming down from the ceiling with a laser show. Like it's serious business. That's what young Gordon would be auditing now, making sure the books are clean.
Oh yeah, I would be all over cockfighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely trying to figure out if everything was legit. You know,
on the up and
Comparing
comparing
the single greatest Miller lending ad of all time.
comparing.
just so you know.
Oh, I've you wouldn't. Yeah.
So-
Nobody
you
else
don't
can
have
give you
to
this.
gamble. You don't have to gamble when it comes to no close.
No.
no, you don't.
Cost
Right.
loan.
Yes, I have done much better since. But yeah, you know, highlight was a lot of fun, and it was good to be on the inside and know things. But that's really when I got my interest in more sports gambling, because
Yeah.
if I knew those kind of things that could help me in Dania highlight, I thought, well, you know, I could figure something out in other sports. But
Well, let's transition this to not making any wagers on your mortgage, because the whole point of paying closing costs, which you do not do, no closing costs with Miller Lending.
Correct.
The point of paying closing costs is that you're hedging, essentially. You don't think the rate's going to get any lower than this. You're going to be locked in for the next 8 years, because that's typically what it takes to break even on these things. But life is not that simple, Gordon. A lot can change in 8 years, man. Rates can go up and down, but your situation might change too. So I think that's kind of where we're at. Giglio, you closed on that HELOC yesterday, right?
I did.
So that's a
did.
debt consolidation situation.
Yeah, that was important.
yeah, no, it's, you know, the thing about closing costs and how it ever got started is what always baffled me. I started doing no cost loans in '87.
Mm-hmm.
At a time when people were paying 15 grand every 6 to 8 months, because we were coming out of 16 to 14 to 12 to 10. You know, they'll never be below 10 again. And people would pay all this money, and then
Right.
8 months later, they'd be lower. And I just don't understand whoever started the vision of closing costs and how it stuck. You go to a bank, they say the rate's 5.25. You're like, all right, where do I sign? Then somebody said, can I get 5? And they're like, yeah, just give us 10 grand up front. The guy said, yeah, cool. I want to find that guy. Just because of that guy, there's been trillions of dollars spent in closing costs that have provided zero benefit to the people that paid all those costs. Because if you paid to get 7.5 a year ago, you've refinanced since. You know, and that's the thing about it, is that, and we've done this before, the average life of a loan hasn't been more than 4 years for probably 50, 60 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And yet the break evens when you pay closing cost is that you're going to keep a mortgage all of a sudden for double that. And to me, that's like saying I'm going to celebrate my 118th birthday at the 50-yard line at UNC wearing Duke blue, just for fun, to piss off Belichick. And Lombardi, maybe.
Which blue is soft? I can't keep track anymore.
Yeah,
I can't keep
I'm
track
still working
anymore.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
more in gray today.
I really didn't want to do today in Belichick as like a real thing, but we are finding ourselves every day with something new to talk about Bill Belichick. I absolutely love it. It's the summer content we need.
Yeah,
I never want the football season to start, honestly.
Exactly. This is more fun than the season's.
It is, because we know that NC State and Carolina and Duke are probably going to be hovering around 7 to 8 wins, and that'll be that. Yet another triangle good football season. Who says no, right? Who says no?
It's written in the stars.
When do you start taking odds on what NFL job he takes?
He'll never coach in the NFL.
He's never
again.
coaching in the NFL again. Not after this. Not a single NFL owner is going to look at what's happening in Chapel Hill and go, "Yep, I want to bring that into my facility."
What if he breaks up with Jordan?
Still,
He's broken.
Yeah,
he's broken by the fact that the NFL won't let him in.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I thought the Sunday morning interview was awesome. I really wanted to know how they met, and I know it's not the airplane. That doesn't. Yeah,
the airplane is involved.
They sat next to each other randomly. Like, did she identify
first
him?
class.
She went up to the counter, gave them $500 cash, and said, "Sit me next to that gentleman over there."
I think she was already sitting first class because that's just how she rolls. As I mentioned,
so fate had it.
As I mentioned in Today in Bill Belichick earlier in today's podcast. It was Us Weekly. And it was, the real reason why 24-year-old Jordon Hudson is dating 73-year-old Bill Belichick. And that's because young guys just don't do it for it anymore. They're immature. She wants a real man. So she's dating these old guys.
Somebody that likes the lights off.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Although we could be talking about Andor season 2. That's a deep cut for some people who are watching that show.
I love their PR response, by the way. I'm going to go dial up Us Weekly.
I know.
And the ACC network.
I know. Those are the two. Those are the two. I love that those are the two places they went to, and that is an encapsulation of Weekly. UNC football right now. Do we have over under yet on UNC football? I want to get the Hanks.
Still 7.5.
7.5. What's the Hanks say? 7.5 with Bill Belichick. UNC football year one.
What's the non-conference?
Giglio keeps that sheet on him.
TCU, Central Florida, Richmond, Charlotte. TCU's here. Central Florida's there.
All right, so I'll take the over.
Taking the over on that? I'm taking the under, man.
All right, I'll that'll be my first prediction. I'll take the over.
Yeah, but Joe, by the end of the year, they may not start the year tough, but by the end of
the end of the year, my bad.
They're going to be tough.
My bad.
Yeah,
and wearing all white.
And don't get emotionally involved here. We're talking about hard money. You either win or lose. Don't attach yourself. So just say Carolina's 7.5. Is that likely? The strength of schedule.
I guess that's the mistake that I make with these types of things. I haven't really I really have not had intel on your trip to Danville. The two of you. You guys went buddy cop movie up to Danville to the Caesars, right?
Yes, we did.
So it's open and ready to go.
Oh yeah, no, it's been open since I think late December when Dennis Rodman christened the opening.
So it's not like a trailer park anymore. Like it's an actual building.
No tent. No, it's an actual building. Hotel,
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top flight restaurant in there.
Nice.
But
all right.
Yeah, no shopping.
You won. Joe didn't. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Tracks.
So I guess what should.
He went to the poker room. That's luck of the draw. I went to baseball. That's
okay. So is that where
streakier?
Is that where the summer money's coming from? The baseball thing?
That's where it's going to be coming from.
I see. Yeah. I see. But you like those what are they called? Yetis? Nerfies?
Round robins?
What are they called? What do you call them?
Nerfy. Yeah, run first inning.
No run first innings. That's where you want to make your bank?
No. That's not it at all.
No, not me.
No, not me. No, sir.
No, it's baseball gets streakier. So, and it's not typical like this week. I mean, for today, and obviously I would say the Tigers over Colorado. You've got the best record in the American League going against the 6-win team in the National League, who's not very good.
Tigers minus 174. All right.
And Detroit hit 20 homers last week, and now they're going into Colorado. So it'll that'll be interesting for them. But the one thing I want to step back here for a real quick second is again with our no cost program and the affiliation we have with the OG. If you do go ahead and reach out to us, please do in the drop down box. You'll mention the OG as how you heard about us, and then you get a wonderful closing gift that we will be forwarding to you as listeners of the OG.
The Raleigh Wine Shop.
The Raleigh Wine Shop.
Yeah.
Gift basket. No OG calendars. I don't see that up here yet. So you didn't do the Speedo thing. That's
no, not yet. We're going to save that for 2026.
Yeah,
we got to, in order to get to year 3, we have to give ourselves goals and things for people to look forward to. That might be a year 3 thing.
All right. So for your picks though, you don't just pick one game straight, right? Like what are we building here for week 1 of Tuesdays with Gordon?
So what I like to do, what I was explaining to Joe as we were driving to Danville, is round robins is what they're referred to as. And the thing about a round robin is for those out there that you take a 4-team parlay and you always find yourself losing one game, which I was doing a lot of.
Yeah.
When you round robin those 4 teams, you would still win if you hit 3 out of 4.
Okay.
So that allows you to drop the one game. And for anybody out there who follows sports a lot, they would say that it's always down to one game, and I never win that one game.
Yes.
So that's
familiar refrain.
That's the beauty of round robin. So when I lose one, then it's a matter of making a little bit, and when I hit them all, as I've done numerous times, that's when the bigger win comes, and you don't have to put a lot of money on.
I was going to say, what's your outlay? What are we looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it all for if you wanted to go as high as $200. I mean, you're not sitting there having to bet 500 a game or 1,000 a game, because you're either going to go, the whole thing was when you were looking at taking, say, 2 or 3 games, if you went 1-1, you weren't going to win. If you went 0-2, you weren't going to win. If you went 2-0, you were going to win. So why not multiply it out into a parlay?
Okay.
So every parlay that you're taking, your intent is, well, I got this. I know I'm going to go 2 for 2 or 3 for 3. So this will be good.
And round robin means you're combining all those teams in separate bets.
Yep. So
Okay.
if you had 4 games, that you liked, it would be 4 3-team parlays is what you would take. It's a total of 5 bets.
And you don't have to choose that.
Well, at that point, you choose it, but you're able to lose one game and still win. So,
all right. So we need 3 more picks for today. Then we got the
Yep.
Tigers minus 174.
We've got the Dodgers.
Dodgers minus 290.
Dodgers against the Marlins. We're going to take the Dodgers on a run line.
Okay. Oh, okay. You want to do that as a run line?
Yep. We're going to go minus a 1.5 for the Dodgers.
Okay.
Against the Marlins, that's a good matchup for them. They just pounded Sandy Alcantara yesterday.
The Miami's best pitcher.
Yeah, Miami's best pitcher. Yeah, he didn't last long or do very well. So as you're building again, basically you have the option of also throwing in an underdog, which ends up multiplying
Even better?
a lot better, even better in these.
Okay.
So we can add the Padres.
Padres against the Yankees. Yankees bullpen is an absolute mess.
Yep, had the Padres.
Although the Padres are now favored in that game.
Although, isn't that the case for the Yankees like every freaking year now? They just have to smash home runs and just hope the bullpen doesn't crap the bed. That's kind of where we're at right now. That's the MO.
All right, San Diego minus
Other than when
112.
Max Fried pitches, which I've been riding Max.
Okay,
Fried
yeah, I was
all-
going to say. They
Yeah,
got my bad. They got one dude. They got one dude.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Ride hot pitchers is the other thing that I've played with baseball. So the thing that's different about baseball and football and basketball and hockey is just that they're playing a game every day of the week. They're playing 7 games a week. It gets very streaky. It gets, you'll look at things like who played Sunday night. You'd see somebody play a late Sunday night game on ESPN, and then they're
On the
1,000
road, they gotta
miles away
travel.
on the road the next
Yeah.
day. They're getting in at 4 a.m. that night. That Monday night, they typically don't play very well. So those are the kind of things that you see regularly. The Royals would be next.
Royals gigantic favorite here because Lugo's their best pitcher.
Yep, Lugo's their best pitcher. The White Sox don't have a best pitcher.
Okay.
Which makes that what are the odds on the
Minus 230 on the money line. Minus 1.5 is straight. Minus 110 on the run line.
Okay. And so
that's 4.
So which 4 do we have right now?
Tigers, Dodgers, Padres, Royals.
That'll be good.
Okay. Perfect.
That'll be good. So again, what we're doing is we're round robining 4 games by 3s. So they make up combinations of 3-team parlays.
Okay.
And at that point, you put, again, for a $200 wager, you put $40 out per play.
Okay.
So it's a $200 total bet. And then, what I'll do next time is when I pick this ahead of time, I'll help calculate what the payout would be.
Okay.
But those would be the 4 for tonight. The one that I like the most would be the Tiger game, Dodgers game second.
Got it.
So these are also brought to you at no cost, by the way.
There it is.
So yes, because if I'm wrong, I don't want any fight. It's the Hank making these picks. This is not Gordon right now. I've just gone into my pseudo schizo multi-personality. I'm the Hank now.
Keep in mind you win and I don't. But there's a theory in baseball that you just take. You have to have a good payroll, right? You have to have a good bankroll. But you take the dogs and you eat a dick sometimes. But when they hit because it's a better unit.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you just gave me 3 gigantic favorites that makes me twitch a little
You
bit.
overthink, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You overthink.
Yeah.
Okay. That's part of the problem. Okay. So don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. That's
Now,
the
keep
issue.
in mind, I lose.
Right, because you
He
overthink.
wins.
Exactly. That's why he's the Hank.
So it's almost good that I disagree.
Because yeah, that's right.
So
You should feel good.
in 2
Well,
weeks,
that's a lock now. So
You
right.
just drive the Dan roll, leave.
guy.
So
So
since this is week one, we will just follow up on those. And
Yeah,
see
no,
how
I wrote them.
we'll follow up.
see how that does
I'm going to
tomorrow.
take it because I have a bonus bet, so I'm taking it.
We'll follow up.
If,
And that
if they all hit, then just understand we'll be doing this twice a month, and I'll make you
Yeah, I'll start the spreadsheet. Don't worry.
you will you'll start a spreadsheet. We'll open up a DraftKings account, the OG DraftKings account. We'll go ahead and bet them, and then we'll keep track of how much
So-
we win over the summer.
in 2 weeks when we do another Tuesdays with Gordon, we went with highlight stories. The next one will be all of those before things were legal in this state, those services that you could call. Do you remember those?
You mean
For
the-
gambling.
For gambling.
Yeah, you got to narrow it down here.
Yeah. Well, there's all sorts of pick up the phone. That was, 2 a.m. watching MTV.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've got guaranteed picks for you. Just you.
Just
all
you.
Just
Just
you.
you.
Just you talking to me. Wayne Root.
Wayne Root was that. Wayne Allen Root was the guy's name.
Yeah.
Wayne
He
Allen
was a
Root.
serial killer.
No, wait. Wayne
Only
Allen Root.
gamblers. No, I'm saying only gamblers and serial killers use 3 names.
This is true.
Right.
So Wayne Allen Root was a guy that you could call.
Yeah.
But this will be story time for the next time you're in because
No, we need Magic Johnson at Michigan State stories next
we
time.
can do
That's
that
what
too. We got all sorts of stories we can
That's
get
when I
into.
left campus.
I know.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Because if you thought highlight was
Every white
shady,
girl gone.
if you thought highlight was shady, those phone services, man.
Oh yeah, no, I told you the story earlier. My favorite part of it was when those services were big in the 70s, and they started up around that time. And I think it was Jim Fix or something was his name, but one of the big ones.
Fix, huh?
Not the jogger, I hope.
No, so they'd run the infomercials. They'd do the little sleazy half-hour stuff. You'd have a panel. That's where I got to know Wayne Root, from that stuff. And
I see.
so my the story that was forwarded to me.
We'll save that story for 2 weeks.
Okay, you don't
Little
wanna-
tease. It's a radio tease.
Oh, okay.
It's a radio
It's
tease.
radio business.
Radio business.
The phone stuff was let's say not kosher. How's that?
What?
Yes.
What?
No. We'll get into that meat and potatoes in 2 weeks. All right, man. Well,
Yeah,
thanks
we
for
got
coming through. Miller Lending, call them 919-447-3377. Go to millerlending.com/the OG. Take those things to close, and you're going to get that Raleigh Wine Shop gift basket from Miller Lending just for our OG listeners. So again, go to millerlending.com/the OG or call them directly. Tell them we sent you 919-447-3377. Real quick, about how long does it take now to take these things to close?
3.5 weeks or so.
3.5 weeks or so?
Yeah.
And it's a lot different from back in the day because most of the stuff you just upload online. I don't have to bring all these sheets of documents to you. It's all online and super easy to do.
Oh no, we stopped face to face years ago. Even before COVID, we didn't want people coming.
No, it's all
We
because
just want to make you money.
No, it's all no. You stopped accepting people when 35 Chinese went out of business.
It's a nail salon that's money laundering. I know.
No,
Right.
no.
They've been doing that for years.
I know.
but
R.I.P.
they're
R.I.P.
big on-
R.I.P. 35 Chinese. One of the
Yeah.
best Chinese buffet places in the Triangle
It
back
was,
in the day.
it was,
It really
yes.
was. It
Yeah.
really was.
Yes.
All right, Gordon. We'll talk to you later, man.
Thanks, guys.
Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer. Check them out, wh.lawyer, attorneys and counselors at law. We were just there last week for Shady's. They own a bar in Garner. So you can it's like a one-stop shop. Get your legal needs taken care of. And then if you have like a rehearsal dinner or a graduation party or a birthday party like we had, you can do it at Shady's. So hit them up today and get your legal services at wh.lawyer. Speaking of the G, you see that big glorious sign when you're driving through Garner, but it's all across the triangle. It's Hometown Realty. myhtr.com is the website. You can buy and sell with confidence. We are talking about a lot of new construction and understanding the incentives that come along with what the builders are doing. Maybe it's special rates. Maybe it's some inclusion of, I don't know, any number of things that can happen with this. You're not going to know unless you're talking to the experts who do know. And that is where Hometown Realty comes into play. So check them out online at myhtr.com. If you're looking to sell your home, don't take a guaranteed cash offer. That's silly. You're going to leave money on the table. What you need to do is contact Hometown Realty and maximize the sale value of your house.
All
right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe questions. Let's go to the OG Sports phone, shall we?
919-444-2211. Call the OG Sports phone and curse or don't.
Of course, the sports phone is brought to you by Nature's Relief. Check them out online at naturesreliefhempstore.com, RELEAF hempstore.com. You might need some gummies to chill you out with all this NHL action with the Stanley Cup playoffs. I know that the tension is up. The stress levels are high when the Canes are in the playoffs. Totally understand. So hit up Nature's Relief. Let's go to a 202.
Hey, Joe and Joe. This is Kevin in College Park. Not much for trash talking in here in D.C. with Caps fans. Like to have a friendly relationship with them as a Canes fan. But there is one bit of factual information that I know gets under their skin. And Giglio, please correct me if my yellow pad's wrong. But by my count, since Ovechkin came into the league, Hurricanes have been to 9 playoff appearances, the Caps 16, so advantage Caps. However, the Canes have a 14-8 record in playoff series in that span, including 3 conference finals appearances, compared with the Caps being 11-14 in playoff series and 1 conference finals appearance. Caps also have 3 President's trophies in that span, which doesn't count for a lot. So just interesting that in the years that Ovechkin, obviously the best goal scorer that there's ever been, but the Canes have been surprisingly successful in the postseason during that same span, despite some dark years. So it's all to say that that's one piece you can put in your pocket for trash talk if needed, but I think this is going to be settled on the ice. Obviously, looking forward to a really competitive series. Let's say Canes in 7. Thanks, guys.
I agree with the Canes in 7. This is going the distance. I think it's going to be a repeat of 2019, right? We've been talking about 2019 a lot. I think both teams are they're at different points in their cycles right now. I mean, obviously you're seeing the sunsetting career of Alexander Ovechkin. You've got some leftovers from that 2019 team, obviously, the Stanley Cup team as well. But the Canes are also in a different point. Okay, this is not the young upstart, bunch of jerks business, young pup, Andrei Svechnikov, all that kind of stuff. This is a different Canes team, a healthy Canes team, knock on wood. But it's going to be a tough series because they got some heat. So I think it's going to go 7.
Yeah, I'm looking up my spreadsheet here because I want to make sure I get this right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only series Rod's won without winning game 1 was against Washington in 2019. Because I was going to say, all you got to do is figure out who wins tonight.
See what happens.
And then what's going to happen.
Let's go to a 504 number, or I'm sorry, a 540 number.
Hey guys, it's Ben from Bull City Coordinators. Happy belated birthday. I was tied up with high school reunion stuff over the weekend, so I didn't get a chance to call on time. Apologies for that. And yes, if you're curious, the girl that every guy had a crush on in high school and that every girl was jealous of still looks amazing, which is frustrating to guys like me who are watching gray overtake beard, hair, and what little hair I have left is slowly making a strategic retreat to my back. But anyway, whatever, put that aside. I just want to say thanks for all the great work that you do. You've actually turned me into a Canes fan, so I hope they beat the Caps. Let's go Duke. Let's go Canes. And keep up the good work, guys.
It's a lot of sharing there, Ben.
Did you go to your high school reunion?
No.
So I went to the Cardinal Gibbons 20th reunion, which makes me realize, oh shit, we're coming up on the 30th reunion in 2027. That's not too far away, all things considered. The 10-year reunion ended up happening at like Moonlight Pizza in downtown Raleigh when that was a thing. It's no longer there. I think that building's still empty there on Boylan and Morgan.
Yeah.
And then the 20th was at Linwood, but it was a smaller group. I think social media has a lot to do with the fact that you might not want necessarily, because you know what's going on with people that you want to keep up with, right? I'm trying to think. What I want to hear is, I get what Ben's saying. The person that everybody had a crush on, male or female, everybody had a crush on, still looks good, right? We all know that. What I want to know is the glow up. Who had the glow up? Who was the person in high school you're like, no way, and then you see him at the high school reunion and you go, wait a minute,
hold up.
I hate to say it, but I was the glow up. Don't laugh. From a 919. So what Mike Lombardi is saying.
But have you had a hot Cheeto, Joe? Or listen to the Finnish dinosaur crew?
Okay. If you want to continue being an asshole about that, I did you a favor by cutting out the part where Sebastian Aho is looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? When you're like, curse or don't, fishy. And he's like,
Curse or no, that's right.
I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Joe?
That's our jinx.
He doesn't fucking know that. You think he listens to the show?
Of course he does.
No, he doesn't.
He's got a sweatshirt.
Where do you think that sweatshirt is, Joe?
It did not make the move.
It did not make the move. Didn't make the move. So, like, you're hitting him with all this, like, oh, the Finnish war. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
We talked about the Winter War. I'm telling you,
he doesn't remember. So you're on my ass about bringing up Heavy Saurus, and you're bringing up the freaking war with the Swedes.
We were both coming in hot. That's fine. It's fine.
And then I'm like, yeah, this business about curse or don't. And he's like, what?
What?
I just cut that. I just cut that.
That was good.
No, it wasn't. It was awkward. Like the cringe was coming through the phone. Anyway, speaking of cringe.
Yes.
From a 919. So what Mike Lombardi is saying, really, that UNC ain't for soft, ... It ain't for soft people? I truly wish he had said something like smart, fast, physical. There was a lot of Larry Fedora coded language coming from Mike Lombardi. I had somebody text me. It's like, I lived the Larry Fedora era. I don't need to hear those quotes again. So that is true. I truly wished he had said something like smart, fast, physical. This clown show is going to be epic in the fall. My win prediction keeps going down regardless of how Carolina blue, soft, the schedule looks. From a 252, maybe UNC season tickets holders will now will include a special gift with his new book. His book sales will skyrocket with UNC buying so many copies, and Jordon will get the funds she needs for her extracurriculars. Just a thought. Wow. What a time. What a time. That's going to wrap it up for today's show. Appreciate everybody who listened. Throw it a like. 5 stars only. Positive vibes only. Unless you're Giglio, who just wants to be, why do you keep bringing up Cheetos?
Hot Cheetos, apparently.
Why are you hitting this man with the
curse or don't?
With curse or don't, as if he knows. Anyway, we'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see you tonight for an After Dark.